nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
Well, hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope everyone had a great week. I am Dr. Shy, the founder and of Building Bridges, and welcome to our Exposed Live series for April. We are so excited that you are joining us for today, and we have a very special episode in store for you. And if this is your first time joining the Exposed Live series, and you're like, what's the Exposed Live series? What is Building Bridges? Well, let me tell you. Building Bridges, we're a nonprofit organization that is designed to expose, equip, and empower young girls to pursue STEM through self-awareness education. And we took the first core value, expose, and we turned into a live series. Hence why you're joining us on YouTube this morning. And we feel like that we wanted to allow this exposed piece to happen in two ways. So the platform was created for one, for youth to find a better understanding of the STEM career opportunities that are available to them and that are out there in this world. And two, to give STEM professionals the opportunity to share their career journey and their career paths to let everyone know, hey, I am a woman of color and I'm doing amazing things in STEM, and I want to share it and inspire young girls or young boys to do the same thing. So, because building bridges, we believe that hashtag exposure is good. All right, so I'm very, very excited about our special guest this morning. Her name is Marky Kidd. Hi, Marky, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Shy?
I am doing very well. Let me tell you a little bit about Marky. So, Marky is currently serving as the engineering strategy and operations quality lead at Boeing. She has 17 years of experience working with this company. Wow, that's a lot of experience. I can't wait to hear about your journey at Boeing. And also, aside from that, Marky uses her creativity and entrepreneurship, and she has her own baking company called Kid. What is it?
Did
Kid.
you not?
I know it started with your last name. And
Yep.
so yeah, Marky, just can't wait for you to share more information about your career in aerospace engineering. And I'm just so excited to have you join us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
Awesome. So let's get right into the conversation. We always like to ask our guests, how did they grow up as, young girls? Were they exposed to STEM at an early age? Or, did it come later? Just tell me a little bit more about your background.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually started off in remedial math. So you would never, guess that considering the fact that now I've had 26 years of experience in engineering. But, somewhere along the way, I got lost in the basics. And math is like a building block. If you don't get the basics, you will never understand it. So that's why a lot of people will say, "Oh, I hate math." They got lost along the way. So, my parents were smart enough to put me into a teaching format where I was able to get that building, the building blocks and the basics. And from there, I just flourished. I relearned those basics and I took off. And math and science then became my favorite subjects in high school. So I went from remedial math to actually being in honors math. I've taken pretty much any math you can think of. I have a minor in math from, once I got to college. And, through high school, I was in programs like MESA, which is Math, Engineering, Science Achievement. I joined different math competitions. I even had personal competitions with classmates. We would compete to see who could get the highest math score. Kind of nerdy, but it's true. And this was back in the 80s. So I didn't really have any Black women engineers to look up to. I didn't know any. I don't even think I knew any Black male engineers, I just always had an interest in how things worked. When you turn on the lights, how does that connect? If you have a remote toy car, what makes this remote make that car run? So my curiosity and my love for math and science is how I started in this journey.
Wow. And the fact that you started in remedial math.
Remedial. Yeah.
Wow. And you're where you are right now, which lets me know, really don't never give up, right? Because that
No,
one thing you didn't have, like all the understanding, you got the understanding. you got great at it, and then you took that and ran with it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right, you go to high school, you're preparing to go to college. Like, how did you know you wanted engineering to be your major? Like, how did that happen for you?
I I think I kind of just like stumbled on it because of the simple fact that I actually really like math. I mean, even today, I help kids with math. Anybody that has issues with their math classes, they usually call me. So I just always had an interest and then, wondered, that doesn't make sense. Somebody tells me something that doesn't make sense. I need to analyze that and try to figure that out. And so I decided to major in electrical engineering, in high school, I did have a counselor that came to me and was like, oh no, you cannot major in engineering.
Mm,
Women do not major in engineering. You need to think about changing your career, your degree path. And I actually contemplated that for a minute. But early on, I learned that, I'm going to do what I want to do. So, and I didn't let that get in my way. But that was one of the challenges that I had early on getting into this type of a career. But, I went and I said, okay, I want to leave Seattle. I want to major in engineering. And I just did it. And then no matter what anybody said along the way, I continued on that path because that was my goal. So,
mm, wow. So even early on, you had someone telling you, no, you can't do this because
yeah.
you're female and males go into this field.
Yeah.
Wow. So kudos to the younger Marky for persevering and saying, no, I want to do this because I enjoy math. I can see myself in this, even though I don't know people who look like me that are doing this. So I would say you set the path. You're a trailblazer because you went down a road that you didn't see no one else that looked like you, but you decided, you know what, I want to do this anyway.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, Marky. That's amazing that you decided to continue down that path. And then in regarding to going to college and also getting into your career, right? I can imagine there were other challenges in walking into spaces to where you only you didn't see as many people that looked like you. You saw more of a male dominated field in your classroom and also in your career. So tell us a little bit more about that, like navigating that space, knowing, okay, I'm like the only one here or one of a few here. Uh,
Yeah.
more about that.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, that was one of the first challenges. But, I've been in engineering again for 26 years. I've been at Boeing for 17. Prior to that, being in college, again, like you said, mentioned, I was the only female, most times only female, but also the only Black female in most of my classes. And, I went to LSU. And a lot of the times the kids, would get together and they would study together, but I was the outsider because most of those were, white males. And so, being, going to a predominantly white school, and then on top of it, it's down south. And this was back in the 90s. I didn't have, those people saying, yeah, come on, Marky, we'll share this test because as you all know that major in, engineering, there are, old tests that you can use to advance to get better grades or to help you with your studying. And a lot of times I didn't get that.
Mm,
So, early on, always felt like I had to work harder just to, advance. And then, being at Boeing, I'm a double minority again, a Black female engineer, and a lot of the time I'm the only one in the room. I'm the only one at the table, especially early on in my career. I've had leaders that have asked me, numerous times, am I capable of doing my job? I even recall being promoted to a lead engineering role. And one of my senior managers, who was, a white male, called me and asked me if I even had an engineering degree. And I responded, yes, three, as a matter of fact. And of course, he didn't expect that. But fact is if I look like him, I never would have even received that call. So, it's been challenging. And I feel like it's just, whether it was in school or within my career field, you're always having to prove yourself, something that as is a Black community that we always do, show up, make sure that you are present, make sure that you always go above and beyond. Something that I've adapted throughout my career. It has served me well, but it can be exhausting at times. It can be, but my experiences have helped me to understand that the reality is that I'm going to have hurdles. It's inevitable. And being a Black woman in a career occupied by those that don't resemble me makes um, advancement even harder. It's an uphill battle. So, and that can breed self-doubt and also trigger imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So, we have to be aware of those things and also pull ourselves out of that. We live in America. Black women make up about 1.6% of engineers and scientists. And at Boeing, we have less than 1% of Black women in leadership roles. So, I'm continuously reminding myself to place faith in my abilities and to trust in my potential and to always pursue my aspirations despite what anyone may say, because my goals are what my goals are, and I keep my eye on my goals.
Awesome. Awesome. I love so much that you said, Marky, but one of the things that really stood out to me was that piece of working extra hard can be exhausting. And you're right, it should not be that way, right? Because you went to school, you got your degrees, you have your accomplishments. So why continue to have to work extra hard to prove yourself? And that's one of the things that, we at Building Bridges, we like to build that self-confidence piece and letting young girls know, love the skin that you're in, be confident in who you are. And don't feel like you have to prove yourself to the outside world and just really know who you are inside and out. So thank you for sharing that piece of information. But on the other side of the challenges though, there is a side that, you have these accomplishments and milestones. So would you like to share any key milestones that you had over in your entire career journey?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that for myself, I always try to, look at myself personally. And my biggest milestone, I would say, is being a mom and being a positive role model to my daughter and now my grandson. They are what drive me to be the person that I am today. I always continuously try to be better, whether it's on a professional or a personal level, and just to be happy. Yeah, I have these awards. Yeah, I've received, the Modern Day Technology Award, the Black Engineer of the Year Achievement Awards. I've gotten, several awards for innovation at Boeing. I can sit here and I can name those, women of color, a rising star. But dude, at the end of the day, what makes me happy is knowing that I can come home and I can say that I've worked hard to be the person that I am. I've gotten the education and I've set an example for my daughter and my grandson. So those are the milestones that mean the most to me.
I love it. And with your answer shows you are a balanced woman because you're not putting all the emphasis on career, but you're bringing in that family aspect as well. So I really do appreciate you for being well-rounded in that space and say, yeah, even though I got those accolades, but you know what? I'm proud that I can be an example for my daughter and my grandson. So I really love that.
Thank
Um,
you.
Outside of STEM and engineering, you have a creative side, which is I really love. Like I'm really all about creativity and tapping into it. And you've tapped into it in regards to baking And let me just put this out there. Her baked goods are amazing. They are great. They're wonderful. And you started your own baking company, your business. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I just stumbled on it. I remember, I think it was about maybe, shoot, 17 years ago, I baked some cookies for an event, and everybody was like, them cookies were so good. And that just grew. And next thing I know, and I'm baking for people all the time. And then I was like, and I need to start charging people. So, it wasn't really like I just knew how to bake. I didn't really think I could, but baking is a way for me to do something creative, like you said. And it also lets me use my analytical side, my skills. And because baking is math. It's very precise. You can't go outside of the lines of the measurements. So, but more importantly, I just love seeing people enjoy what I create.
Mhm.
And it is a great stress reliever. So I created Kid You Not Dessert. So it's Kid, my last name. Kid You Not Desserts. And I bake cupcakes. That is the main focus of Kid You Not Desserts. And I do cookies too on the side, for family and friends. But they love them so much, I might have to bring them into the whole fold of Kid You Not Desserts. So and right now I bake in the Dallas area. Um, that was my little simple plug. But
Yep. Plug, please plug.
but Kid You Not Desserts has it's evolving. I'm starting to get out and do some events. I'm baking for holidays and just whatever anybody needs at this point. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm perfectionist, so I'm always trying to take a class to learn something more so that I can make sure that whatever you get not only tastes good but it looks good. So I
Mhm.
enjoy it. It's a way for me to get away from the 9 to 5 and and put my creative soul into something and then make other people happy through what they taste. So
That's great. That's how I feel when I bake, but I don't want to start a business with it.
even though you could, because I've had your bake stuff. So
I don't want to do that. I feel like it won't be as fun anymore. So I'm glad you're making money from it. If I get that, I just have to call you up and say, "Hey, Marky, so how did you do this?" That's awesome. That's amazing. So she's in the Dallas area, people. If you want to try some of her desserts, go to the next festival event. You might see Kid You Not Desserts there.
yes,
Food
yes,
truck in the making.
and the making.
um, so let's pivot a little bit. We're coming close to the end of our show. I want to know, is there anything you want to share to inspire young girls to pursue STEM with confidence?
I mean, just always remember that you can do whatever you put your mind to. STEM is, I love it. It's fun. You have to be creative in a different way. And some people will think it's boring and it's nerdy, but it's not. I have never worked on an electrical pole. I have an electrical engineering degree. I have never done that, but I have been able to fly on airplanes, test out airplanes, do some of the things that you wouldn't even imagine that you could do. And it'll blow your mind. And so to be the first on an airplane that has newly been developed and to be able to make changes and then later go ride it once it's in commercial, it's beyond what you can imagine. So always think about it. It can be fun, right, Shy? It can be
It
fun,
can
right?
be fun. It can. It definitely can. Because you're getting access to certain spaces or certain
Yeah.
people or certain products before the world even knows about them.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's, I like to say, it's really seeing what you're putting your hands to and just really make like, wow, I worked on that, or wow, my brain power had something to do with that. So I agree with
Hmm.
you. And
Yes.
last question, but definitely not least, we always like to ask our guests this. What does exposure is good mean to you?
Okay, so exposure is good means being remembered. Always try to be remembered when you leave the room in a good way, of course. Many times you're the only Black woman in the room, but that gives you the ability to be seen and heard. Don't let your own self doubt get in the way of what you want to do and achieve. So always remember that you are the owner of you, because there will always be someone that's going to try to get in your way. So the only person that can really keep you from achieving your goals and getting to the highest level of success is you. So strive to be the best version of yourself. Take a seat at the table because you belong there. And always bet on yourself.
Well, you heard it. Be remembered in a good way before you leave the room and bet on yourself and strive. Well, our time has come to an end, Marky. This was lovely conversation. I
Thank
enjoyed getting to
you.
know more about you and your journey. You dropped a lot of good wisdom nuggets. I was picking them up myself. So I really appreciate your transparency and just really being a part of our platform and sharing your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, and thank you to our audience. Thank you to those that were watching. And if you're watching this and you are a STEM professional and you are a woman or a man of color, feel free. We want you to be on this platform. You can go to our website, www.iambbinc, that's iambbinc.com. Go to the Our Reach webpage and you can actually fill out our form. Or if you know someone else that you think, hey, this person should be on this platform, they should share their story. We want to hear from them as well. And if you are in the Chicagoland area and you would like to volunteer with us, we have our next volunteering event next Saturday, April 27th at the College of DuPage. We'll be a part of their STEM Con. We'll have our own exhibit and we're teaching guests how to extract DNA from tomatoes. Very fun experiment. And they get to take DNA home with them in a test tube. Um,
Fun.
yeah, that's so fun. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you're interested in our STEM programs and bringing us out to your classrooms or your events, you can also find our STEM programs on our website as well. Last, let us know you were watching. You can take a picture of this real quick, tag us, let us know you were watching. Expose Live Series. Exposure is good. We would love to have that. All right, well, this is our close for April. I really enjoyed this conversation, Marky. You were awesome. You were great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep
Thank
baking.
you.
Keep doing things in aerospace engineering. You're wonderful. You're amazing woman. I'm so glad I've had the pleasure to know you outside of STEM. So it's been great.
Thank you. Thank you, Shai.
All right, well, everyone, have a great Saturday, and we will see you in May.